So StorySoft has built a digital storytelling platform, and it allows brands to create immersive digital experiences that tell a story. And the purpose of these stories is to break through the clutter and better engage HCPs and patients. This is just one way to create a digital experience. It's the StorySoft way. But again, this will help you, bring things to life based on what we just spoke about. So a couple of things that I want to call out. This is actually running in a web browser. So our digital stories are hosted on a URL like a microsite. You can see that these experiences are multiple pages. We are on page 1 of 8, and there's a progress bar at the top. So the user always knows where they're at in the experience and how much further they have to go at any given time. You can also see that there's a video on this particular page playing in the background, and there's some text overlaid. You can also notice that this text is personalized to Dr. Smith. So this example is leveraging that data-driven personalization. So we can connect into any backend database. For example, say you're housing your physician level data in Salesforce or Viva. We can connect the StorySoft platform to that and pull through any data that you have on a customer. And we can use that data to dynamically change the content that that individual sees. So using that email blast example, an email goes out to 5,000 docs. Dr. Smith clicks through her link, it says Dr. Smith. Dr. Jones clicks through her link, it says Dr. Jones. A very basic example where we're pulling through the physician's last name. But again, imagine if you knew that Dr. Smith was a prescriber and Dr. Jones was not. We could actually show different content to Dr. Smith throughout this experience on certain pages versus what Dr. Jones sees. So we can do some really, really interesting things with personalization to allow you to create those dynamic experiences. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to swipe through. On our digital experience, it's a swipe to move page by page, very similar to flipping through pages in a book, so that you can see how we bring digital experiences to life and the different functionality that you can leverage in doing so. So we can have audio voiceover in here.
I'm so lost. It's like a constant funk that I'm in. I don't sleep, I can't eat, and I'm unable to focus at work. Things are spiraling.
So kind of creating that emotional hook. Then maybe the physician moves into some prevalence data. She can click the tabs at the top, again, get engaged with the content. You can see that as I'm clicking through these tabs, the content on the page is changing. And then on the back end with our analytics, we can provide back to our brand teams, all of the things that are happening within our platform. We can tell them how far the individual moved through the story, how many pages they went through, what they're clicking on, how much time they're spending on each particular page. So now, as we move to page 4, we've set up the problem early on. Now we're introducing the solution, which is this brand called New Life. There was a little animation that you saw there. And now that we've introduced the brand, you can see that we've introduced our ISI. So 1 click to expand, 1 click to contract. Med legal teams really like this because we can stay compliant. Another voiceover.
Dr. Smith, in multiple studies, patients taking New Life 50 milligram tablets once daily saw significantly improved outcomes compared to placebo. Tap the bar chart for each study to reveal more data.
So we know that rep access is declining. Imagine being able to deliver one of these digital experiences to physicians across any marketing channel. They could then consume it on their own device, on their own time. But now we can mimic that rep to HCP interaction with tools like voiceover. Just like a rep might call out key data when they're face-to-face with a customer, we can now mimic that in a completely virtual environment using tools like voiceover. This is an interactive slide to reveal more information. So as you can see, with our digital experiences, we're using a combination of storytelling techniques and interactivity really to get people immersed in this content. We can have survey questions in here. So this is asking Dr. Smith, where does New Life fit into your treatment of adults with depression? Maybe Dr. Smith's already a prescriber of New Life, so she clicks submit. We've now reached the end of our experience. You can see we're on page 8 of 8. And for us, every digital experience ends with a call to action. Again, short form content, but with a link out to allow that user to continue their journey should they choose to do so. And so this link, maybe that drives them to brand.com where they can download the resource, or maybe it links them directly to the resource, the PDF resource. But it makes sense for Dr. Smith. She just said she was a prescriber. That means she has patients. Let's get her a starter kit. But maybe Dr. Jones is coming through this exact same digital experience. And she's saying, you know what, you've convinced me. I'm going to use New Life with my patients. Perfect. Order samples. Maybe this links out to the brand's sample ordering form. And then maybe Dr. Thomas is coming through and saying, you know what, I'm on the fence. I really need more information. Perfect. Let's get you connected to a rep and get your questions answered. So this is that example of the dynamic action-based personalization that we talked about, where based on a user's action, their input on that survey question, we were able to dynamically change the content on the next page that that individual sees to make it more relevant to the selection that they just made. So for this example, we kind of put it towards the end of the digital experience, which is possible. But you could also put it towards the beginning. And that's where that idea of the choose your own adventure comes in. So imagine if the patient or physician landed on page 1 and they answered the survey question A, B, or C, and then you took them down path 1, 2, or 3 based on that answer choice. So all of that is possible within these digital experiences and specifically our platform. But you can see how this allows you to deliver a dynamic experience that's full of relevant content to each individual user who comes through that experience.